Hello and welcome to Tara Cherie. This week we are actually achieving a goal that I've had for a very long time, and that's to learn how to make kombucha tea. And as you can see here, I have the organic raw kombucha that I used in order to make this particular batch. Now, you can find that at most grocery stores. I bought this at Whole Foods. I believe Target has them. You'll have to check in your local area. I know I saw it in our local Target. There's some other stores that carry it as well. Any health food store most likely will carry some form of kombucha. And this is really cool because it actually has the live cultures in it. So it has the enzymes, probiotics, all that, as you can see here, which is really, really nice. And I like it because it's raw. At any rate, the cultures are already alive, and so all you need to do, I'm going to share with you a few quick strategies that a few friends had shared that I'd done some research online as well. And all you need to do is just to take a big pan, as you can see over there. That really, really big pan is the one that I actually used in order to boil the kombucha. And so you just want to fill it with enough water for a gallon jar's worth, as you can kind of see here. And so you'll want to let that get to boiling. Throw about 2 to 3 tea bags of black tea, which you can get dirt cheap, like $1.99 for a box, maybe even cheaper than that. I'm not sure. That's what I found it for. And then from there, once it starts to simmer down just a little bit, but it's still pretty warm, that's when you put those 2 to 3 tea bags of black tea in there. And then you'll want a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of all natural sweetener or sugar, whatever you use. We tend not to use sugar in this house. We really try to use just all natural sweeteners. It's just a much healthier alternative. And then what'll happen is you'll combine all of that. You kind of stir it around a little bit. Let that go into room temperature. Let the tea just cool itself completely off. Otherwise, it'll disturb the cultures, and you don't really want that to happen. And then the raw organic kombucha, you'll also have to make sure that that's room temperature before you combine them into the mason jar, or whatever you decide to use. I don't recommend using plastic or using metal because that'll disturb them as well. You want the probiotics to be completely undisturbed, and you want them to grow. And so therefore, not only do you want it room temperature, but what happens is the sugar that's in the actual tea that you just boiled, or all natural sweetener for that matter, what that is it's food for the probiotics. And so it'll actually help them to create a film that's on the top. You can kind of see it here forming a little bit. I know it's kind of a glare there, but at any rate, it forms what's called a SCOBY. And the SCOBY is supposed to be white, like film on the top there, and that usually takes about 2 weeks or so if it's fed properly and not disturbed. And you'll want to make sure that once you've combined all these ingredients that you use like a cheesecloth material. We didn't have cheesecloth, so we used paper towels, but the probiotics, they actually need to breathe, so you'll want to make sure to have that with a rubber band around the top of the mason jars, and this actually protects them and allows them to just sit here. Basically all you're doing is allowing the liquids to ferment. And then what you'll want to do once you've allowed them to ferment, usually 2 or 3 weeks, you can actually get, if you want to move the process along a little bit further, which I don't know that it does because you still have to order online, but you can get what's called a SCOBY starter. And a SCOBY starter will actually allow you to speed up the process slightly. But again, we were watching our monies and our budget, and so therefore we decided to do something that was really cheap and just create the SCOBY ourselves. And what will happen as that film becomes more white in color, what will eventually happen is they'll tell us that it's time to go ahead and drink it for consumption purposes. And so what we'll do, we'll take that film that's up at that top there, and then we'll go ahead and take some of that film, the SCOBY, and then some of the tea, and that'll be our next SCOBY starter. So we're more than making our money back on our purchase of the raw organic kombucha that we originally purchased. And then what you'll want to do, because that film will still be at the top, and I don't know that you want to drink that all up off the top, plus you want the probiotics, all the enzymes and everything that was at the top to be mixed in, so you can have it more than one serving. And just be sure not to use a metal spoon. You'll want to use a wooden spoon, because the metal, again, disturbs the probiotics and the enzymes and things. And you want those live cultures to be undisturbed again. So you just want to use something that's not harsh against them. So wood spoons are awesome for that purpose. And then you'll just stir it, and then you can have it at room temperature, or you can also put ice in it, however you want to drink it. I'm not sure about heating it up. I don't know that I've heard it ever served hot, but certainly room temperature or with ice is perfect. And then you have a yummy, tasty beverage with live bacteria. So it's actually good bacteria that's feeding your body, helping to fuel it, helping to cleanse it, helping it to be more immune. So it's the perfect drink for this purpose. And you can, once you've, used up all the tea that's in the mason jars, which might take a little while. I don't know. I guess it depends on how much tea you drink, then you'll have all of your ingredients and items, especially if you save the SCOBY and a little bit of the tea for your next round. And like I said, you more than make up your money's worth with this. So yeah, I would most highly definitely recommend it as a yummy, tasty alternative to say soda or pop, however you say that. I know that those have a lot of sugar in them. This is a really great alternative to that. That's a much healthier option for you. You can even make it so it's a little bit more fermented and fizzy if you would like, by just leaving it out to ferment just a little while longer. So there's some options for you to play with, and just a really quick, cool tip, especially for those of you that want good health tips. Here's, I guess, a really wonderful health tip for you for the week if you hadn't already considered it. Maybe you already make it. Maybe you gain a tip or a strategy on how to make it a little bit faster. If it's not ready in 2 weeks, so you're not really seeing that foam up at the top, give it about another 4 weeks total, so maybe about another week or two. If it's still not there, you can always drink what's there, or you can just dump it out and start a whole new batch all over again. I wouldn't recommend just dumping it out, because at that point you already took the time to make it, but certainly, if you didn't succeed the first time, try again, right? There's always room to improve. But yeah, this is a nice beverage, very cheap, very cost effective, that you can enjoy, especially if you get burnt out with water or you want a soda alternative. This is the perfect option. Take care. Have a great rest of your week. Until next week, we'll see you then. Bye-bye.